It's something you already know. It will beat you to your knees.
I'm Morgan Rett, man.
I grew up in Miami, Florida, in the Liberty City area. I went to Miami Northwestern, where sports was everything. My name is Greg Barnes, better known as Elliot Barnes. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, and football. I was a little youth. That was my first organized sport I ever played, was at Manor Park, which is better known as Charles Hatley Park in Liberty City. That was my first sport that I played. Made All-Star. Can't remember the age, but I went up to about 12 years old. I was an All-Star, pitcher, catcher, all-around athlete. Basketball at DeCosi. My football time was at DeCosi. I was a young kid. Up to the 8th grade. From the 8th grade, I was playing defensive end, probably the smaller defensive end, but I was the fastest on the field at all times. Basketball, I was shooting guard at DeCosi. From then on, I went to Northwestern for high school. Ended up playing basketball, football. I didn't play any baseball at the time. I played JV, I made all in the city in JV, basketball player of the year. Playing football, 9th grade, JV, went on up to play varsity. We had a great team, that 83 team. I was in Lulabelle, better known Miss Smith. I was in her PE class, she saw me running around, she told me that I need to come out for track. And I told her, nah, I don't think track is a good sport. All the guys on the football team, they was telling me, man, you need to run, telling the coaches I could run. And I knew I could run, but I didn't think track was a good sport at that time. My senior year, I'm sitting in front of the school, Coach Jackson coming out of the school, they heading to Glen Cherry to practice. And he see me sitting out there with my girlfriend, and he's like, Barnes, this is the last day, time trial. If you don't come out for track, if you don't come out today, you're not gonna be able to run. I'm walking through the projects, so once I get through the projects, I see them lining up on the track. And so I yelled out, hey, I'm hollering. So I was like, wait, I'm coming. So they told me to come on, so I went on up there, ran up there. She said, go ahead, I'll catch up. So I ran up there, I told them, I said, put anybody on the line you wanna put on the line. In my senior year, that's when I started running track at the West. My drive was motivation to myself. I had a few people that I looked up to around the school that kind of gave me a lot of inspiration. Miss Smith was one, Coach Jackson, and a few of my teammates was playing football with me. Coach Bean was the Mr. Northwestern, Mr. Track, everything. And by me being I was in his class, and he used to always ask me, to run for him. I would never run. And so, I wish he was here today to see what's going on, because since then I have been inducted into Louis Bean Hall of Fame. He always tell people that you all know who this is? This Greg Barnes. He would never run from me. And I said, all right, now Coach Bean, so right now I'm doing something with you now. I'm in your Hall of Fame. In the Northwestern days, man, my biggest accomplishment, it wasn't football, but that was my dream of football. Like every inner city kid, I had an NFL dream, college dream. So I did end up getting a scholarship for football. I played cornerback at Northwestern. And you know, we had one of the fastest teams out there. And my next accomplishment was track. I ended up qualifying for state for the 100 and the 440 relay. I false started in the 100. So the high school, my biggest accomplishment was when I came back and broke the record on a guy that just won state. And I also told him that I'm gonna beat you the next time I see you. And so I went 10:30 in 100 meters at Jesse Hook Track Classic. The record still stands today. Been over 30 years, so I took it for granted then. Now when I look back on it, it was real special. So I really hold that to my heart. So that was my biggest accomplishment growing up. Then once I turned pro, had a lot of accomplishments there because I was ended up being one of the fastest, and I was ranked 30th in the world, 15th in the U.S. in the 100 meters. Ran in all over Europe, made U.S. teams, Pan Am Games, contract with Puma, Mazda, TC. Got a chance to see the world, and now I'm here giving it back to the kids. That should do it, though, because now I started giving back to the community. 2004, Miami Norland, I was a sprint coach. I was there for a couple of years, and I moved on to Booker T, Washington. I was there for a couple of years. Then I moved to Monsignor Pace. I was there for like 6 to 7 years, and I ended up moving on. And now I'm the head coach at American Heritage Plantation, and I also coached couple of track clubs, Metro Dade, and I created my own track club, which is Tion Elite. My first biggest accomplishment was my 13-14 girls 4x1. We was the record holder, national record holder, AAU, also USA. My second was in high school, was Monsignor Pace. Broke the state record in the 4x1. And then Booker T became my next big accomplishment, which we also went 40.5, #1 team in the country. We didn't get the state record, but we was one of the fastest teams ever to run. And then my biggest accomplishment came from American Heritage, which I'm the only coach that broke the 4x1 record boys and came back and broke it with a different group. I broke it with Monsignor Pace in 2009 and came back and broke it almost 10 years later at Heritage, which was state record 40.13. That was my biggest accomplishment. Also, my individuals that I coached that became elite runners. I had 2 Gatorade nominees, Diamond Spalding and Anthony Swartz, which won the Gatorade trophy, which is the National Athlete of the Year. I think that was my biggest accomplishment, because that's a very big trophy to win. My biggest motivation is my daughter. When I created Tion Elite, actually that's her middle name is Tion. I lost her in a domestic violence that still hurts me today. So when I think of kids, and she was only 20 years old at the time, so that really motivates me, because every time she called, "Dad, where you at?" I said, "I'm at the track." She just said, "You love that track." So when I created the club, it wouldn't be any other name but Tion. So that's my main drive right now, because I keep her name alive, and I like to see the kids in the inner city, like inner city is rough, so just try to give them an outlet, because I was an inner city kid and it takes a lot to get up out of this thing, because it's so much peer pressure on these kids these days that, you know, we have a lot that go off the wrong path, and you know, as a coach, you know, I think it's our duty to guide the kids and to help them out, and you know, because they spend most of their time with you than the parents, and you know, so I just try to just make sure, you know, you do right by them, show them the world, because it's so much out there other than Liberty City and all these other hoods that we have here. You know, it gets, you just have to, that's my motivation, just the kids itself. And I love coaching, I coach hard, and you know, I want to be the best one day. You know, I'm working towards it. I think I'm on my way. I accomplished a lot of things that, you know, that I haven't heard anybody done so far. There's a few coaches here I really respect. Carmen Jackson, you know, Alex Amateras, you know, a couple more. But that's my motivation, man, just to make sure the kids have an outlet, other outlet than these streets in Miami, because it's rough. I'd like to thank God for the position I'm in today. Without Him, I wouldn't be here to share my story. I'd like to give special thanks out to a few special people. My cousin, Mike, Joe, a few of my homeboys, Taba Bang, Melvin Bratton. Special thanks for Carmen Jackson, Calvin Jackson, Coach Bean. Coach Bean was one of the ones to really keep pushing it, because really from the 9th grade, between him and Ms. Smith, kept enforcing this and telling me I should run. And the list goes on and on. And but you guys know who you are. I'm Greg Bonds, aka Elliot Bonds, behind the scenes.